Good morning, fourth graders. This is Miss Ferguson. Today is Wednesday, April 8th. We are continuing our lesson talking about character traits. Remember, our learning target was I can describe a character and provide evidence from the text to support it. Quick review of the things we talked about yesterday. Character traits describe a character's personality. Character traits are not things that describe how a character looks. So when we talk about identifying character traits in the characters in the books we're reading, we're thinking about what describes their personality. Four things that can help us infer a character trait, because usually an author does not come right out and tell us what a character's traits are. We have to infer them based on these things: their feelings, their actions, so what they do, dialogue, the things that they say, and their thoughts. So those are four things that will help you when you are inferring a character's traits. We're going to talk about some different character trait words today. An important part of being able to describe a character is knowing different character trait words that will help you describe their personality. So here are some of the words we're going to work with: sly, foolish, diligent, and lazy. A sly person plays clever tricks on others. What do you think foolish means? This person often makes unwise decisions. How about diligent? Many of you have been very diligent with your work during this time of distance learning. This type of person works hard to accomplish things. And what does lazy mean? If that means diligent, this type of person does not like to work or exert effort. So think about the characters in your books. If they are someone who doesn't want to work or exert effort, they would be lazy. They don't make good decisions, they might be foolish. So these are just some examples of character trait words we might use. So we're going to read a passage and see which word, now that you know what they mean, applies to this passage. So keep those four words in mind and what they mean. Jesse and Andrew were picking strawberries that their parents would sell at the farmer's market the next morning. It's hot out here. Let's take another break, suggested Andrew. We just took a break 5 minutes ago, replied Jessie. She continued to move down the row, picking ripe strawberries from each plant. I think we should keep working and just get this done. If we take too many breaks, it is really going to get hot out here. Andrew shrugged. Suit yourself. I'm going to sit under the shade of that tree over there. 5 minutes later, Jessie glanced at her brother. His flat was nearly empty because he had been feasting on the few strawberries that he had already picked. She shook her head in disgust. He is going to regret this in an hour when I have finished my rows and he is still out here working in the heat. Which one of these words would describe Jessie's personality? You said diligent. You are correct. She works hard and exerts effort. How about Andrew? What are two words that might describe Andrew's personality based on his actions and his dialogue or the things that he said in this passage? Lazy would be one, and foolish. He didn't want to exert effort or do work, and he made unwise decisions because his sister finished her work and he had to stay out longer in the hot sun because he took too many breaks. Let's try another passage. Yes, I caught my dinner, said the cat. Let me go. Let me go now, screamed the mouse. No way. You will make a tasty meal for me, answered the cat, his mouth already watering. How about we make a deal, suggested the mouse. If you let me go, I will lead you to the mouse hideout. Then instead of eating one little old scrawny mouse today, you will be able to dine on a mouse each day for the next month. He makes a good point, thought the cat. It would be better to know where I could find my dinner for the next 30 days. Okay, It's a deal. Lead me to the mouse hideout. As soon as the cat released his grip on the mouse jumped to the ground and scurried through a hole in the wall. Wait a second, what about our deal? Called the cat. There was no reply. The mouse had already vanished. What word would describe the cat here? The cat was foolish. What about the mouse? If you said that the mouse is sly, you would be correct. He was able to play a clever trick on the cat. Let's take a look at some other words. Arrogant, bossy, optimistic, and pessimistic. Arrogant is a type of person that thinks they are better than others. Bossy is someone who gives unwelcome orders to others. Optimistic is a type of person that takes a favorable view of events. And pessimistic is a person who expects only bad outcomes. Let's apply these character traits to this passage and see how we can describe the characters here. It was yet another rainy day, and Mrs. Hawthorne's students were having an indoor recess. What are you guys doing? Linda asked, peering at the papers in front of Amber and Valerie. Amber glanced helplessly at Valerie. She didn't want to answer, but she also knew that she couldn't be dishonest. We are just making some name tags to wear for our readers' theater tomorrow. Cool, may I help? Well, we don't like it when you start telling us what to do, said Valerie. I promise I won't do that this time, vowed Linda. Amber moved her papers to make room at the table for Linda. Linda sat down. She glanced at Valerie's paper. Valerie, I'm not telling you that you have to do this, but I really think you should add a border to the name tag. And Amber, that scribble looks horrible. Maybe you should start over. Which one of these words would describe Linda? If you said bossy, you would be correct. Let's take a look at another passage. I looked at your math exit tickets yesterday after school, announced Mrs. Pearson at the beginning of math class, and it looks like the majority of you are still unsure of how to multiply three-digit numbers. Therefore, we are going to review this process today. Alexander groaned. I might as well get comfortable and take a little nap. This is easy for me. I don't need a day to review. Suddenly he felt a tap on his shoulder. He opened his eyes and looked up at Mrs. Pearson. Alexander, I expect you to follow along with the rest of the class, said the teacher. Mrs. Pearson, I learned how to do this 2 years ago. Believe me, I know what I'm doing. Really? You might be surprised to know then that you didn't get all of the problems correct on your exit ticket yesterday, replied Mrs. Pearson. Which word would describe Alexander here? Alexander is arrogant. Can you believe our luck? Trevor asked Juan as they were walking to baseball practice after school. We're stuck with Mrs. Heron next year. Yeah, but maybe it won't be that bad, Juan replied. Didn't you hear what my brother told us yesterday? He said it was the worst year of his life and that she never cut him any slack, Trevor reminded Juan. No offense, Trevor, but we're not like your brother. I can almost guarantee that Jared caused problems for himself. I think we'll be fine next year in Mrs. Heron's class. Yeah, that's another issue. I bet Mrs. Heron is going to find out that I'm Jared Hingle's brother and have it out for me from day number one, groaned Trevor. Come on, Trev, you can't think that way. It's just going to ruin your summer. Think positive, said Juan. Which word here would describe Trevor based on the things he says? Trevor is pessimistic. What about Juan? Trevor is pessimistic. Think about the things Juan said in this passage. Juan would be optimistic. Let's take a look at 4 other words. Determined, selfish, reliable, irresponsible. This type of person sets goals and works to accomplish them. This type of person thinks the best outcome is for himself. A reliable person is someone who can be trusted. And an irresponsible person does not accept responsibility. Tanya hopped in her mom's car and took a big gulp of water from her water bottle. How was practice? Her mom asked. It was okay. I'm so close to nailing my back handspring on the balance beam, Tanya told her mom. Speaking of which, you can bring me back to the gym tomorrow at 4 o'clock, can't you? Coach Perkins said that she had a free hour to work with me then. On a Saturday? Exclaimed her mom. Don't you think you should give your body a rest over the weekend? You're at the gym nearly every day this week. But Mom, I can't pass up the opportunity for some individual coaching with Coach Perkins' help. I know I'll be able to land that back handspring, Tanya reasoned. Okay, I guess I can bring you, her mom agreed reluctantly. What would describe Tanya here? Tanya is determined. I'd like you to pause the video here, read the passage. Once you have picked the word that describes Carson, unpause the video and see if you are correct. I'd like you to read this passage about David and determine the word that describes David. So you should pause the video while you're reading. Same thing with Caitlin. Here are 4 other character trait words. I'd like you to read the definition for each. And as independent practice, I want you to get a piece of paper. I want you to write down Chloe's name and pause the video while you read this passage and identify the word that describes Chloe. Same with Sophie. Make sure you're pausing the video. And Chad, as well as Justin. All right. So your assignments for today. After you watch this lesson, you need to go and complete your daily reading. So a minimum of 35 minutes. You need to write down your pages. You need to select one of the writing prompts that you're given for each week and write your paragraph response. You need to make sure that you submit your writing. It can be emailed to me at kferguson@brighterchoice.org. It can be dojo messaged with a picture, whatever is easiest for you and your parents. Then you need to log on to News ELA and complete today's article about butterflies bounce back and submit the required quiz and work that goes with it. You need to complete your packet pages for today, which are about describing characters, so that goes along with what we're doing here as well. Those pages are pages 110 and 111, as well as 113. Remember, when you're writing a response, you need to make sure you are always using RAD. Lastly, make sure you have a parent or a guardian sign and date the appropriate spot for today after everything is done. So after the lesson, News ELA, reading, and writing prompts. If you have any questions, you know how to reach me, and I will be reaching out to more of you today. I've been hearing great things, and it sounds like everyone is working very hard. Some people have had some troubles, and we've been working on sorting them out. And I'm really proud of everything you girls are doing. Have a great day.